All right, hello. We are live. Welcome to Matchup Catch Up. We've got fill-in crew today. The hamster's off doing hamster things. So it's me, Chris, and Cam here today. How we doing, gentlemen?
What up, cunts? We're not here to fuck spiders. We're here to destroy people in comments and in trades.
Yeah. Stab people down.
Well said, well said. It's pretty nice. All of us coming off of wins this week, I do believe.
It's a winning chat. That's why Ham can be.
Yeah, I was going to say, no offense to Ham, but actually lots of offense to Ham. Wasn't too many weeks where me and him were doing it where it's like, oh, we're both coming off of wins because he's only had 2 in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyone would have beaten poor BC Kugler this week, so it's default.
You got a nice plush matchup there.
Yeah, that was a freebie.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Sleeper app and we can get into shitting on some people's lineup decisions for the week.
I am prime for that. I got the back and wide receiver bench warmer of the week, so
Yeah. You could have put up like a pretty high score this week if you had wanted to.
yeah, I put up like 117 of a potential 180 points.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
That's poor.
Didn't he? Just keeping the guys fresh for next week.
Just, when you're up big, you bring your starters out. You empty out the bench, let them ride.
Rest in those starters. Man,
Yeah.
my Sleeper app is taking a long time to load up here.
And some big scores this week, though, huh?
There were
Yeah.
a couple $1.50s dropped here and there.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
All right, finally in here. All right, who's going to be the first matchup? Starting off the top, I've got myself and Hurts So Good.
Yeah, not much to say there.
Yeah, you know what? I will say I was looking at the early morning games, and this was actually looking pretty scarily close. Mike Evans and Tank Dell were going off, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I just traded like Kamara for Tank Dell, and Tank Dell sinks me against this guy, I might actually need to be put on suicide watch. But luckily, the rest of my squad came through. Big shout out to Brandon Cooks. I felt horrible having to start him, but fucking had the game of maybe his career.
Yeah, that's a hefty scoreline. When you get that many receptions, it's going to be a nice day.
Yeah, needed it. Also, the other guy Coop traded me, Gardner Minshew, just shit the bed. Like, that was a great Trojan horse trade. It's like, oh yeah, I'll trade you these guys, and then you're going to start them against me, and they're going to suck.
Absolute fucking lead anchor there from Gardner.
Yeah. So I'm glad that didn't happen. That would have been really embarrassing. That would not have helped my case for defending that Kamara trade. But yeah, not a whole lot to say on that one.
This week.
The only thing I do like about having a lot of guys on bye week is like you don't have to make that many choices. You're like, well,
ride or die, man. That's it.
You did set the best possible lineup.
Yeah, I love to see it. Doesn't always happen.
Wow. Coop's team though, he did have a couple of guys that went off himself. Like he's got some good QBs going off there.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle. Gotta give shout outs to waiver wire pickup Rico Dowdle, the RB1 in Dallas, not Tony Pollard.
Pollard's done.
Man, I made a horrible trade for him in another league. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that whole Pollard situation, but that is
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be the second weirdest thing besides the Falcons this season.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's baffling, and he does get touches. He's just not doing a ton with them. Yeah, and you know what? Shouts out to Coop, last place team, still trying, and he would have beat like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different teams this week. A median score. That could have been another win for the guy. So
yeah,
his QB situation is pretty nice. I don't know where the fuck Sam Howell's come from, but
yeah, and with all his picks, he might be able to add to that. He's gonna have a fucking QB factory.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got our matchup catch-up founder, the one and only Average Jim versus Moisty Muckmit. And I mean, also not a lot to say about this one.
It's pretty average performance from Average Jim.
Yeah, he got used as a moist muckmit by Moisty Muckmit. Just a beat down. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, man, that guy sure would have looked good on Ham's team.
Yeah, but you were forgetting that Ham, if he had started Josh Dobbs, would have still lost by 40. So he could have been closer.
You know what? That is true. He could have started Josh Dobbs over Trevor Lawrence for a whopping 24-point difference. Man, Trevor Lawrence, ouch. Just like he's playing all right real life football, but he is playing some atrocious fantasy football. I mean, not last week was bad football all around. They got shit stomped, but
I didn't have access to Red Zone this week, so I literally just watched the 49ers Jaguars game. Cool. And it's tough going up against that defense, though.
Yeah, it is tough sledding.
When Chase Young and Nick Bosa were like raping Trevor Lawrence every 2 seconds, it was like, this guy doesn't stand a fucking chance here.
Did you guys hear the soundbite from the line where they were like, they don't know what they're doing? And he was like, damn right, we don't.
No, I missed that, but seeing the Red Zone highlights of that game, very believable. Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, and you know what? Ham's team's not as bad as this performance was. Like Laporta had a down day. Marquise Brown and Deontay Johnson combining for 2 receptions and like 40 yards total is not something that's likely to happen again.
James Cook with the 2 fumbles and the 1 lost fumble was just that's rough. I mean, shout out to the little toddler Kyler Murray, who I said wouldn't throw a touchdown this week, and he did.
He did get that one. But that's all lands on Ham. A little bit of hubris, picking himself as the upset of the week.
Yeah.
To just get pummeled like that, that's sweet karma. Moist Muckmit trending up at the right time. Even with Derek Carr basically doing nothing, he still put up a monster score. Yeah, I'm not. I think
nice little week.
Pardon?
Bijan had himself a nice little week.
Arthur Smith finally pulled his fucking head out of his ass. Still didn't get them the win, but
the Falcons, they suck, huh? It's something else.
Yeah, I was really high on this team, not even just from a fantasy standpoint, but I'm like, oh, I think they could be really good and have a really good offense. And then Desmond Ridder and Arthur Smith shat all over that. But yeah, Moisty Muckmit's team is looking dangerous. Not looking forward to playing them.
It's going to be a tough playoff team to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he might not finish as, a top 3 seed, but man, I'm really hoping I'm not playing him in the first round, and hopefully not at all. God,
I know Oz is pretty upset about this new playoff format. He's going to be even more upset when he fucking bounces him week 1.
Oh yeah, he's like sitting in that six, like a couple losses. It's not conceivable that like the 1 or 2 seeds playing Moisty first week. I'm like looking in the future already. I'm like, should I like tank my last week to avoid playing, like avoid that 7th seed?
As close to Moisty in the standings as possible.
Yeah, just definitely want to stay away from him. Next matchup, actually, the guy you're talking about who's complaining about that, our reigning champ, Mr. Nakatomi Plaza, Logan Palmer himself, against our boy Ray Ray. And
I picked Sweet Baby Ray for the upset this week, and Dak Prescott did everything he could to try and putting up like 50% Ray's points.
Yeah. Mac Jones and Jahan Dotson did everything they could to stop that from happening. Jahan Dotson very successful, giving him a nice fat goose egg.
Yeah, that's tough. And then Derrick Henry just gave him a big shit on his chest on the way out the door.
Yeah, Ray saw that game and was like, "That's it, fucking done." Yeah. Does anyone have like a bag of peanuts I can trade this guy for? And
he even cut down out of Odell Beckham Jr. on 1 catch for the day.
He made the 1 catch count.
Yeah, and then just on a slant where he just sent it.
Yeah, that was like just a little bit of a defensive breakdown too. Like, Odell is I think pretty washed. It's tough when you got to rely on starting Odell and Jahan Dotson.
It's tough out there for a gangster.
It sure can be. Yeah, I think Ray's accepted it, making a move for Derrick Henry. He's heading in the right direction by doing that, I think. Logan's team, again, putting up, like, there's a reason he's the reigning champion and in first place. You just look at the scores from this team. 70 points from Keenan Allen and TJ Hawkinson.
Doing it with absolutely nothing at QB as well is crazy.
Yeah. Like a half game of Heineke and Kenny Pickett, who is hot garbage.
Yeah. The Steelers 6-3. Holy moly.
Yeah. When you would be better off playing Latavius Murray than either of your starting quarterbacks, you have a QB depth problem, but
I mean, you could go a step further and say when you're better off playing Zeke Elliott than a QB.
Yeah. I mean, the way Kenny Pickett played, you can get pretty far down the better off than list. But yeah, another guy that, not looking forward to seeing in the playoffs or anytime really. He's got some heavy hitters on that squad.
He's leading us in points for by 50. Like, that's more than my opponent scored this week. So that running back combo, that's tough. Eckler and McCaffrey.
CMC and Eckler in PPR with both of them going full tilt. That's deadly. And what Keenan Allen's been doing in PPR is just somewhat annoying.
Where he went back to the locker room. I see that on Red Zone somewhere that he went back to the locker room at some stage?
He had a shoulder injury, but I think he was back out on the field, or it was after he put up all his points. I don't know. He's got a questionable tag.
Put up 45 points, and he's like, "Gotta go take a piss. I'll be right back."
Yeah.
Piss. Went to the fucking locker room in a wheelchair, dickhead.
He's leaving it all out on the field. I mean, sure would suck if that guy got hurt. All right. Speaking of your opponent who put up less than 50 points, we're on Breeze Nuts and our main man Cam here, the Stingrays.
Man, it was. I think I have more points on my bench than on the field. So I need to start actually reading some shit every week. Well, when games start here at 4:00 in the morning, my eyes aren't quite open yet when that kickoff goes. So
That's fair. Luckily, your opponent made it not matter. I like how Sleepers does like the start sit accuracy of each team now, and I saw in the week recap, yours was like 65% accuracy, which I think might be the lowest I've seen. Like normally most people are like around 80, 85, bad week like 75, but 65 was shocking. Credit to your bench though.
Well, I mean, I did not see Brian Robinson as out of nowhere is RB6. I no idea that was happening, so I don't know why I'm starting Aaron Jones, who's fucking old and shit. But come get him for some picks. But yeah, there's a lot of shit going on my bench that I'm going to try and clear out here to try and get a bit better at the pointy end.
Yeah. To be fair, like I wouldn't have started Noah Brown necessarily this week. Like maybe not over some of the guys you have in your roster. So like, yeah, that one's excusable. Baker Mayfield being a better QB than Bryce Young. Who would have thought? But
I mean, Danny DeVito was a better QB than Bryce Young this week.
By two, he was twice as good.
He was twice as good.
Yeah, I mean, and Brian Robinson, like, yeah, start of the year, you told me he was going to be even like a top 12 RB. I would have been like, I don't see it, but he's some season, man. Apparently, getting shot in the leg really held him back from using those legs last year.
Many men.
And on the opposite side of this, not much to say. Although I do want to rag on our boy Priestnuts a little bit. How do you go ahead and trade your first round pick this year and then decide to tank and trade Mahomes after that? Just questionable decision making.
And then healthy QB going into this week.
Yeah, it was rough stuff. You can't fault him. He had no other options. But man, the way that roster is constructed, it's a shame to not have your own first round pick this year. That's all I'll say on that.
Yeah.
And next matchup up on my screen, we got our boy Little Marco. Ask ETN season versus Hanging with Hernandez. Man, that is a dark team name.
Yeah.
That's a dark mustache he's got there as well. So, I mean, it fits.
Yeah.
Pretty nice little week for my guys.
Yeah. Resurgent. You started the season off pretty hot. You got hit by the injury bug like a fucking Mack truck or Brian Robinson's leg by a couple bullets. And
came at me, but we.
Oh, dude, you're chugging right along, and with 3 teams sitting at 7-3 and you at 6-4, like there's a lot of movement that's still yet to happen in these standings these last couple weeks. I think it'd be a pretty safe bet that the way the standings sit today are not going to be how it's heading into that week 1. I've been trying to look ahead to be like, oh, who might I play in the play? And you can't even. There's just so many close matchups and close teams and stuff to happen that, it's going to be an exciting little race here.
A lot tighter this season for sure, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure next up and coming week we got Justin Jefferson and Devin Achane coming back.
Yeah, that's scary. You were another one of those teams I was looking at. I'm like, fuck, man. Imagine like you end up in 8th place and then all of a sudden you're back with a fully healthy roster. And week 1, the first seed's playing Achane and Chase and Etienne and Walker and Justin Jefferson. And oh man, I'd be pretty angry if that happened to me.
Wow. When I look across and I see Taysom Hill lining up at tight end, I'm going to get pretty scared about who is going to face that.
You never know, man. Taysom Hill, he'll give you 2 or he'll give you 20.
The guy's been elite this year.
He has. What is he ranked?
Did Jared Goff you for like a wristy and half a can of Coke, and he's like a real football.
That was another good deal I made.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill.
Fair enough. Sam Darnold and 2/3.
Taysom Hill sitting as
tight end 10.
Tight end 10.
Is he really?
Yeah.
But he didn't really play for like the first 6 weeks.
Fucking hell. He's gone mental.
Yeah, I mean, it's you could do worse for a tight end.
Definitely.
He had quite the stretch there too, like 12, almost 17 points, 22 points, 22 points.
It was pretty nice to see Quentin Johnston get a touchdown this week too.
Yeah, nice to see him more involved, and Romeo Doubs.
People have been in telling me that Quentin Johnston's a bust and I should trade him.
Wow. Yeah, no. Nice work with your flex guys, both hitting touchdowns to save their day. Over for hanging on Hernandez's side, he's just like
hanging in there.
He's just hanging. Yeah, that's it. He's just hanging in there. Dalton Kincaid, definitely got to like that going forward. Will Levis has come back to earth.
I kind of looked like that 1 week against the Falcons was an outlier.
Yeah. Apparently the Falcons can make anyone but their own players look good.
Yeah, his team are young. Like, he's got some, like, Levis is young, Olave's real nice, Addison's good, Kincaid's balling out, Drake London's young, Flowers is young, Burrow's a prick. Desmond Ritter, I guess. But he's young. Like, he could be a team here for a while.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he's going the right way about building it. He's, taking his time, but I think that group of core wide receivers and what he's got at tight end and QB there is going to keep him in the mix for a while if he can hit on some draft picks this upcoming year. He's going to need some help at running back at some point, but, that's usually the last pieces of the puzzle to fill in there. Yeah. All right. And last but not least, we got I Dig Sir Butka versus I Got 100 Problems. Our boy, Bobby Digital, RB Digital. And, man, ever since he made that trade for Breece Hall and Geno Smith, he has had like 100 problems. He's
got like 200 problems now.
Yeah. You hate to see it. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is the scariest team in the league, and I absolutely don't want to see him. And I think since I've said that, he's lost like 2 or 3 straight. And it's problems for our boy, who's had a lot of problems.
Well, Tony Pollard is just like, as we talked about earlier, just complete trash this season.
Yeah. In that Geno Smith trade, I was originally trying to get Tony Pollard, and he's like, I just can't part with him. I need him too much. And he ended up pivoting to that first. And man, I'm kind of glad I didn't get Pollard.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the most dire QB situations in the league. Is bare.
It's crazy how stacked some of these teams are, like Plaza and other problems. The QB situation is just really terrible on both teams.
Yeah.
James being the second best quarterback on this team is a problem.
Well, he does have Justin Fields down here, and I know Bobby told us not to be scrolling a ton, but I'm scrolling like a motherfucker almost just to spite him right now. No, but I'll just scroll down to show. He does have Justin Fields, who should be coming back this week, potentially. I wouldn't be surprised as a Bears fan if Justin Fields falls out these last couple weeks meaninglessly, making our pick worse. That's kind of how the Bears do things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Caleb Williams already said he wasn't going to go there, so you guys might be stuck with Justin Fields again.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is an idiot, and he's going to go wherever he's drafted. I don't believe it for 1 second. But honestly, I'm as a Bears fan, I'm not really sure I want that Williams guy. He's said some shit. He's looked questionable. I'd be much happier with the Bears just drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. Just do it. 1 overall. Fucking lock it in. Kid's a stud.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to this matchup. Bobby Digital. It's been tough. Tony Pollard and Davante Adams, who's like not been horrible, but he's had some weeks where it's like you really question whether you wanted to start him or not. But just tough stuff.
I have Davante Adams in a different league, and I don't think I've started him since week 7 or something like that. I just can't trust the guy right now.
Yeah, it's starting to look better now that McDaniels is gone and they've stopped playing Brian Hoyer and Jimmy Garoppolo. But yeah, it's tough stuff for our boy Bobby Digital. But it is a dangerous squad. Like there wouldn't want to be playing it once he gets Justin Fields back in that lineup, and there's going to be better days ahead for Breece Hall and DJ Moore and hopefully Tony Pollard. I mean, there can't really be worse days ahead than that.
And even Cole Kmet in tight end 5, that's insane. Like there's nice pieces like that's a guy for me in the playoffs. Like he could put up on 5 and get you 1 week. Or Justin Fields coming back for him, that changes it up. And
he does. Yeah. He has Travis Kelce. He was just on bye this week. He's getting Raheem Mostert coming back off IR and a bye. James Conner coming back as well too. So like he does have RB depth. Like if I was him, I think you really gotta consider benching Pollard going forward. And
Raheem. Well, the running back situation this week I think changes next week pretty dramatically.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be probably playing JT and Raheem and like Breece Hall's like the talent's there, but just with Zach Wilson leading that offense and that O-line, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I think JT's on a bye next week though, so we can't start him next week.
Oh, true that. I wouldn't be afraid of firing up James Conner after his first week back here with Kyler Murray back. He was putting up big numbers at the start of the season until he got hurt, and I mean their Cardinals don't have much in terms of running back besides that. So, I think that's pretty fair. Over on Mike Smales' side here, pretty decent score, and man, he's just been plugging along. Every time I look at his team, I feel like I say this every week. I'm just like, paper tiger. I think this team is outperforming its record, but he keeps on doing it. And at a certain point, you just got to say, all right, I'm wrong,
Good season. Like, Herbert's a good fantasy quarterback. He's not doing much for the real Charger team, but he's doing work for the fantasy people.
Yep. No, he's definitely a better fantasy QB than he has been real life QB this year. Javonte Williams starting to come back to life. Like, I looked at this team and I'm like, oh, he's got Javonte Williams and Cortland Sutton and Russ Wilson. He's got way too many Broncos. This team's gonna suck. And you know what? The Broncos are like, fuck you. We're back, baby.
Russell got more touchdowns this season than he had all of last season.
Yeah, Russell Wilson has like quietly been like a decent fantasy and real life QB this year.
The coach was that was always going to be a little bit better. He's still, what is he, QB
14.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him be QB dickhead last year. So yeah.
What did you?
I can't remember what the trade was actually.
I think, wasn't it like Deshaun Watson for Russell Wilson?
No, the Cam's trade was like Wilson, a second, and a first. A first, second, and third. So it was probably not a great trade, but I mean, at the time, Russell Wilson was looking pretty bad.
Yeah, you traded a first, and you got a first, third, and a second.
Yeah. No, you traded Wilson a second and a first.
And got a first, second, and a third.
Potentially, it's Russell Wilson for a third-round pick.
Yeah. Not great, but I mean, Ham also like fire sailed the man. He was getting passed around like fucking cheap cigarettes in a penitentiary.
I think you can say, though, Broncos country.
That's Broncos country, they're back. I mean, I'm looking at his like fantasy producers. I'm like, oh man, outside of Diggs, his like best producers are all like Broncos. Yeah, he's just got like a solid team. Like,
good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Mike. I'm giving you your props. You're no longer a paper tiger.
Yeah, there's some really nice pieces on this team. And Stephon Diggs, man, the Bills are like, what is happening? Yeah, he's doing what he's doing with Stephon Diggs not being Stephon Diggs. So that's a problem come playoff time.
Yeah, and Montgomery, especially if Javonte is going to keep getting that usage. Cortland Sutton, I sold him. I put Sutton in that trade where I sent him Mixon and some seconds for Waddle. And I just thought, I was like, I do think Sutton's like a decent mid-level talent, but he was getting a lot of touchdowns. I'm like, I'm not sure how sticky those are going to be, but he's been getting them. Sutton just seems like a lock to get a touchdown every week.
I think the Broncos have just surprised everyone this year in almost every way.
Yeah, 100%. They started off slow and embarrassing, but I do really think Sean Payton's actually, starting to turn the team around, and I think Russ probably had to just have some tough to swallow pills there and look in the mirror and realize he's not the let him cook Russ. He's the let me like prep the salad line Russ, like just short targets for most of the game,
He's now Sierra's bitch, Russ. Like,
yeah, but it's been working, and that is all the matchups for this week.
Yeah.
Before we hop into waiver wires there, do we want to look back at the trades from the week?
That was the Derrick Henry, Zach Charbonnet trade, which we talked about.
Was there anything else this week?
I'm just looking back now, but I don't think so. Oh, there was Derek Carr and Daniel Jones, which is a bit of a wash because both those guys will probably be out of the league next season. And then Saquon Barkley's up on the trade block. That's a big piece to go up there.
I think we need to talk about Ray outbidding himself for $60 on Trenton Irwin.
It was a nice pickup. I was a day late on that. The next day I was like, oh man, is that guy on the waiver wires? I should go see. Like he'd be like a nice stash potentially for next year. If like T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd or both leave. And then I was like, oh shit, he went for big money. And I was like, well, he didn't have to, but yeah. Let's get into the part of the season though where if you got fab bucks, like fucking spend them.
Yeah, you may as well. I mean, some guy just dropped $80 on Danny DeVito last week, so.
Hey, he was twice as good as the QB I started, it seems like.
Yeah, that's, oh my God. There's got to be like a Danny DeVito award Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito? Danny DeVito? This guy's a fucking Goodfellas character.
Family's super Italian too. It's so funny.
There's got to be an award for Tommy DeVito for like the worst quarterback someone's started in a competitive matchup.
I mean, that probably goes this week to an injured Jaren Hall. So
yeah, that's going to be tough to beat. The quarterback wasn't going to get you any points. In retrospect, looking back on that, he had a few backups on his bench. At least there was a chance those guys might have played. I get it. It wasn't going to make a difference. But just strategy-wise, like, play the guy who's actively out and definitely not going to play, or a guy who has a chance, however slim, to play. You made the wrong call. But that's enough on that. Speaking of spending bank on the waiver wire. What are we thinking for waiver wire pickups this week, boys?
Probably got to be Tanner Hudson. There's not much else out there.
Looking on the trending list, there's about fuck all. I do see A.T. Perry on there.
I just dropped him like last week.
Yeah,
He done nothing.
I think it's Tanner Hudson's your go-to guy, but depending where you're at, I can see A.T. Perry being a guy someone goes after. Someone like who's starting, Dotson and Odell Beckham Jr. could use any lottery ticket shot at a wide receiver.
If he didn't just spend all this fab money on trying to own
him. Yeah, whatever's left, dump it on the boy. All right. And shall we do our underdog picks for next week?
Sure.
And there's some big games this week. Some big games. I think your matchup's going to be real interesting here, Benny.
Yeah, it's a real tight one. Like I was just saying, I do not want to see Moisty Muckerman, and he's who I'm up against this week, and he's got Mahomes back. That one's going to be real fucking tight. Hopefully Cooper Kupp can pull his head out of his ass for me. If he has another 6-point game, I'm probably pretty fucked.
Matt Stafford is back this week, so
yeah, fingers crossed. That does something for me. You also have a pretty tight matchup there, Cam, with the 3 and 4 seeds playing each other.
Yeah, 3 and 4, and then I think the thick, quick, and small dick could sling one Nakatomi Plaza's way potentially.
Yeah, I think that has to potentially be the upset of the week for sure. Yeah. And there's some big implications. Like, it would take a really big point spread week, to get ahead of Nakatomi Plaza. But there is potential that he could lose that number 1 seed this week. And with me, you, and Mike all in tight matchups, there's that could get shaken up as well too.
Yeah, but Nakatomi Plaza's got the least points against. He's also getting kissed on the knob fairly often.
A very gentle little kiss on the knob, and
just like, man, I've seen Ham do it a few times actually. People, so but me and Chris kept a Bismarck bowl the other week. We got the toilet bowl this week with Ham and Hurts so good. That the 2 and 8 matchup going in there hard.
Yeah, and Ham looks like he might get his 3rd win of the season.
The hamster will be wheeling.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, I think there's a lot of chirping going back and forth between those boys with the Eagles and the 49ers as well too. So I expect to hear some shit talking one way or the other.
I don't want to bring attention to it again, but if you look at Ham's lineup right now, you should see who's in his QB flex position.
Oh, he's ready. The hairless wonder.
This will be the week too. Oh, Denver's done some things to elite starting quarterbacks. Mahomes, and then Josh Allen. Well, what if Dobbs is next?
Could be.
But in retrospect, if Dobbs does really good against them when Allen and Mahomes have shit the bed, I fear we're going to hear more "it's him" talk.
I hope we do. Everyone jumps down and he gets emotional, and that's why we love him. So I actually sent him a picture of my asshole earlier just to make his day better. So everyone should follow in that trend. Actually, I think that would make his day just more bearable.
Yeah. For our boy Ham, everyone, send him a picture of your butthole.
Assholes out for the hamster.
Yeah. It's the least we can do. He tries to bring us joy and entertainment at every turn.
He's quite successful.
All right. So my pick for upset of the week will be thick, quick, and small dick, like you said, slinging one Nakatomi Plaza's way. That would be so great. The 8 seed knocking down the 1 seed. But yeah, there is some absolutely close matchups here. Some big matchups between the 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 seeds all going down. So it'll be an interesting week as it shakes up the playoff race.
League table's going to look a bit different at the end of the week.
Yeah, I think that table's going to get flipped for
sure. For sure. With only 2 losses separating the 7 seed to the 2nd seed, in 2 weeks, like, this whole thing could flip.
Yeah. Okay. I think my matchup, unfortunately for you, well, I like thick, quick, and small dick as well, but you might get hoisted up a bit here, Benny, this week. That's a game. I'm looking forward to seeing. Well, I enjoyed seeing Lamar Jackson and the Browns win, but that's a tough one this weekend. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be tough, man. Hopefully, and he's even got his 2 starting RBs on bye this weekend. Still, like, not gonna be close. So, or still gonna be very close. But yeah, should be a fun week of football. Looking forward to it. All kicks off this Thursday. We got Bengals Ravens. Is that the first good Thursday night matchup we've had?
Well, darn it. There's the potential here for Joe Burrow to be a big piece of shit, which I'm hoping that he is. Actually, no, I need the Bengals to win so that the Browns can be AFC North number 1. Let's go.
Who do you hate most?
Who do I hate most?
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Good. You know what? Good answer. Good answer.
He is a shitter.
Yeah. Ironic that you also have to cheer for a sexual predator.
Yeah, you know what? I was at the team store last year, and I physically could not bring myself to buy his jersey.
That's a good litmus test. You know what? You got better players on that team to buy their jerseys, anyways.
Oh yeah, wow. You should see the closet of jerseys I've got, man. It is a fucking barren wasteland in there. we got Johnny Manziel, we got Peyton Hillis, we got fucking Corey Coleman, Jordan Cameron. Jesus, I don't reckon I can buy collectively for them on eBay.
Yeah, you should see if you can trade all of those in for like 1 Myles Garrett jersey.
That I bought. I have that. I need to go get myself a Nick Chubb jersey before he does his knee again.
Yeah. No, those are admirable jerseys to have. My jersey closet's pretty bare. I've got 1 Smokin' Jay Cutler jersey. Remind me of the good times, remind me of the bad times. I haven't been able to bring myself to buy any current Bears jersey. I'm like, they're either any good player we had, like Roquan Smith or Khalil Mack. I was like, they're going to get traded in this rebuild. And then outside of them, we haven't really had a player who I'm like, I'm confident in buying your jersey.
Brisker's looking pretty good.
Brisker, yeah, Brisker has been looking good. I don't know. My rule with rookie QBs is I want to give them a season, make sure they don't suck, so I don't end up with a Johnny Manziel jersey in my closet.
You can have that. I'm happy to send you a Ohio State Justin Fields jersey if you just want to wear that on weekends.
Oh, the good days when he still had promise before his career was ruined. All right, boys. Anything else to add here?
No.
Not really. Just that I miss him. Just wanted that to be on the record. I miss him, and I hope he's doing well. Because I feel like he's sad right now, which makes me sad. It should make the whole league sad. We're not the same without him.
We're better for him. That's absolutely right. You want to plug like half the squad that you threw up on the trade block there yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting him up there because I don't like him. So you probably either. But I run coming out of my dick hole. So if y'all want one, come get it. Because, man, even next season when I got Chubb coming back, holy shit. I don't know what I'm going to do with these clowns. So Kareem Hunt's not going to be in the league next season, so don't trade for him. But come get one. They're available at low prices.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the honesty there. That's like the exact opposite tactic Ham uses. Hopefully it works out for you. You heard your boy. You need RBs. He does not want them. Maybe you don't, but maybe you don't have a choice. Come get them.
Exactly.
All right. And well, on that great note, we miss you, Ham. We miss football. We're happy both are coming back soon. Have a great week, everyone. Stay frosty.
Goodbye.